Hey everyone, welcome to November safety meeting. This month we're going to go over arc flash and lockout tagout. Our agenda, we're going to go over what is arc flash, effects, boundaries, protection, PPE, warning labels, lockout tagout, fatal 5, definitions, hazardous sources, lockout tagout devices, and procedures. What is arc flash? Arc flash is a flashover of electric current that leaves its intended path, travels through the air, results in violent energy discharge, and can cause serious injury and/or death. Causes of arc flash can be dust, a dropped tool makes contact with two different circuits, physically touching circuits, severity factors, proximity, how close are you to the blast, the temperature of the fire coming out, the time that the circuit breaks, and the amperage. Effects of arc flash. As you see in the picture here, this gentleman was involved in an arc flash. You can see where his head had been protected and where it wasn't. Alright, for the boundaries, you have your arc flash boundary, your limited approach boundary, and your restricted approach boundary. Now that'll kind of tell you where you need to start putting your PPE on, how far out. You see these charts I have on here. The top one is for your AC, which you'll use most of the time, and then the bottom chart is for any possibility we come in contact with DC. These are both out of NFPA 70E. So if you're working anything, say 50 volt to 150 volt AC, your limited approach boundary for exposed movable conductors is 10 feet. For exposed fixed circuit parts, it's 6 feet 3 inches. Now your restricted approach boundary is one foot within that. And that's not just, as the picture shows, it's not just straight out from that panel. It's kind of like a bubble around it. So remember that. The only people able to get into the restricted space is a qualified person with PPE on. Limited space, an unqualified person can come into the limited space as long as they're briefed on the possibility of electrocution and shock, and they must have the proper PPE on, as well as the qualified person must escort them the whole time they're in the limited space. Protection, of course, training. It qualifies employees to perform the work. De-energized circuit, lockout, tagout, some type of insulation, PPE. Just because you have PPE on doesn't give you the excuse to go in there and work live. Always try to turn it off before we have to justify energized work. Guarding, barricades, ground fault circuit interrupters, and grounding secondary. For PPE, there's 4 categories. Category 1, minimum arc rating is 4 calories per centimeter squared. So your arc rated clothing, you have to have a long sleeve shirt and pants or coveralls, face shield or flash suit hood, jacket, parka, rainwear, or hard hat liner is needed. For protective equipment, hard hat and safety glasses, of course that's required on every job for PATCO. Hearing protection, heavy duty leather gloves, and leather footwear. Category 2, minimum mark rating of 8 cal per centimeter squared. Pretty much your ARC clothing is going to be the same, except you're going to have to add a balaclava for underneath the hood or face shield. Protective equipment's all the same. Category 3, minimum mark rating of 25 cal per centimeter squared. In your ARC rated clothing, as required, long sleeve shirt, pants, coverall, flash suit jacket, and or flash suit pants, all ARC rated. Flash suit hood, AR gloves, and then jacket, parka, rainwear, hard hat liner is needed. Protective equipment, hard hat and safety glasses, hearing protection, leather footwear. Category 4 is 40 cal per centimeter squared minimum mark rating. Clothing is going to be as required. AR long sleeve shirt, pants, coveralls, flash suit jacket, and or flash suit pants. AR flash suit hood, AR gloves, AR jacket, parka, rainwear, hard hat liner is needed. Protective equipment, again, hard hat, safety glasses, hearing protection, leather footwear. Warning labels. Requirements. Something that can't be energized, operates at 50 volts or more, includes boundary and PPE info, permanently affixed, rarely accessible. So pay attention to your warning labels. They'll give you a lot of details on what you're working with. Lockout tagout. Lockout tagout is a technique used to release hazardous energy, prevent hazardous energy from escaping. A padlock is placed on the appropriate energy isolating device that is in the off or closed position. The Fatal 5. The Fatal 5 is the main cause of LOTO injuries. It's failure to stop the equipment, failure to disconnect from all power sources, failure to dissipate, which bleed or neutralize residual energy, accidental restart of the equipment, failure to clear work area before restart. Definitions. Authorized employee, one who performs lockout tagout for work to be performed. Effective employee, one who operates machines or equipment where the LOTO is required to be performed. Energy isolating device, mechanical device that physically prevents the transmission or release of energy. Energy control procedure, program adopted by the employer that includes control, inspection, and training procedures for employees to perform LOTO. Hazardous sources. There's all types of hazardous sources out there that could get you hurt or killed. So make sure you're paying attention to all these. Electrical, there's generated and static. Mechanical, transitional, rotational. Thermal, there's machines, equipment, chemical reactions. There's potential hazards. Pressure, like hydraulic, pneumatic, vacuum, springs, and gravity. LOTO devices, some different LOTO devices here. They're plug locks, ball valve locks, gate valve locks, group lockout hasp, electrical, and hydraulic, pneumatic, and other pressurized systems. So of course, plug locks, group lockout hasps, and electrical are going to be your main ones that you're going to be using. Lockout tagout procedures. First and foremost, make sure you properly fill out the form. It's part of the job. It's got to be filled out if you're doing a lockout tagout. So first things you go and pull up the form on the iPad. You put your work order in, the date, time, the authorized employees that'll be working, effective persons, be the the employees of the place we're working at, the location of the work, machine number if applicable, and description of work. Then you'll go through, make sure all authorized employees are trained in lockout tagout, all effective personnel are informed of the lockout tagout, have your pre-shutdown safety meeting, and who the pre-shutdown safety meeting was conducted by. Then we'll go through your shutdown sequence. Again, it asks, was all affected personnel notified of the machine equipment shutdown? Make sure that it's shut down, how it's shut down, whether it be circuit breaker, turned off the switch, what kind of devices were applied for lockout tagout. You got the circuit breaker lockouts, you got switch lockouts, energy source isolated, and how. That's, did you isolate the energy source, and how. Stored energy relief, say you're working on a conveyor belt somewhere and you get your energy source isolated, have your logout devices applied, go back there and flip the switch, turn it on, see how much it moves and if it stops. If it moves and then stops, then you've relieved any stored energy. And always check electrical power source with a voltmeter to verify that the power is off. Startup sequence. Go back into your form. You'll go through the startup sequence completely, filling it out properly, and start the machine up. Make sure that it works, doesn't need any further maintenance or repair. That is about it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need anything PPE wise, just need to talk. Just holler at us, let someone know. We're here. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Make sure you get your fire extinguishers checked, and we will see y'all next time. Have a good one.